Poptimist UK. Thank you very much to those that joined us for our first episode a couple of weeks back, and thanks also to those that are joining us for the very first time today. In this video, we are going to take it right back to the start of our collecting. Each time we do one of these, we're going to look to do a sort of an A to Z of our collecting, and that'll hopefully sort of showcase a little bit of what we have. Hopefully provide a little bit of information on Funko collecting in general, and tips and tricks that we've picked up. But fundamentally it will be about our collecting, which is why we do these in the first place. So starting with A, we're going to go right back to the very start, back to 2015. So we went back to 2015, which is where the collection began. In March of that year, I posted on Instagram a picture of a screen grab of the original, one of the original Flash Funko Pops, thinking that that's one that I would really like to get my hands on. It's something I could really get into. And 2 months later, that's when these three entered the collection. Iron Man Mark 43, which was part of a reasonably limited run. Certainly not as big as the waves of pops that come out in the future. And as you can see, sort of really basic pop compared to some of the details later on down the line. Thor, again, full detail of all the lines on the back there. And Cap himself, before he became worthy, he was busy helping to defeat Ultron. And that's where it all started. To the present day now, as you can see, the collection's returned in its rightful place. I want to show you a few of the things we've picked up recently, which includes New York City Comic Con shared exclusives, and also a Pop in the Box pre-order that's finally came through. So we'll start with the Pop in the Box, and that was Theon Greyjoy of Game of Thrones. Now, we don't have tons and tons of Game of Thrones pops in the collection, picking them up on a sort of odd basis, but Theon, in terms of the whole show, probably one of the most turbulent storylines in the entire series. Won't give you any spoilers, but this is from a mould from the final series of the show. As you can see, Theon there with his flaming arrow. Definitely a show worth catching up with if you've not watched the programme before. For those of you that have, maybe 1 or 2 disappointments about the finale, but I'll leave that for a discussion for another day and for another forum. But as you can see, the line from the final series on the back there, we do have the mountain that's due to come through from Pop in the Box soon. Again, that'll be another quality addition to the collection, but as you can see there, Theon Greyjoy. Also got our NYCC exclusives through. This one came through from Pop Culture in Australia. Now, the tricky thing when it comes to Comic Con, whether it's San Diego or New York, is you'd never really find out until very late where the shared exclusives are going to pop up in the UK. So the fear of missing out kind of kicks in a little bit, and you find yourself jumping onto the US sites and onto the Australian sites. So Pop Culture, The Mandalorian. This is from the Disney Plus streaming service exclusive show that's coming up soon. Still no news on when this series is going to be broadcast here in the UK, or the Disney Plus service for that matter at the time of recording. Hopefully we get some news on that soon, but looking at the trailers, it does look like it's going to be a fantastic show, and one that everybody, particularly Star Wars fans, will be looking forward to. So that's the lead character, the Mandalorian. Available from the Funko shop in the US, and anyone looking to buy in the UK, this one's available on the EMP website, so check that out. I'll stick some some links in the description for this video, so you can find your way to get hold of this pop if it's still available. One plus point with Pop Culture was, with every single order, they were shipping a special commissioned pin, which I think was fantastic. So I have 2 of these because I've made 2 separate orders via Pop Culture, but a great addition, and real positive thing to add, and a really sturdy, solid pin as well. During looking for our NYCC exclusives, I also stumbled across a new company called Aussie Collectibles, again in Australia as the company name would suggest. But the positive with these guys is they ship all their stuff in a pop protector. So when doing international transactions, it's always quite helpful to know that there's that extra little bit of protection. And that was the Sand Trooper, Star Wars original Sand Trooper NYCC shared exclusive. Really, really good detail on this. I like the weathering. I like this sort of OG styling of it, like an original Stormtrooper with his cannon. Really pleased to pick this one up. You know, as a standalone pop, it's great. We'll get it out on the spinner if you have to have a full 360 of in a second. But really pleasing to add that one as well. One of our other additions to the NYCC shared exclusives line for this year is the Stan Lee Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 cameo appearance pop. One that's going to mean a lot to me personally in the years to come, because this was picked up for me by my nephew Dylan and my brother-in-law Adam. So thank you to them. But Dylan, in fact, wants to be in our videos, having watched the first one. So hopefully we'll manage to squeeze him in somewhere down the line. So you'll probably be introduced to my nephew Dylan in a future video as well. A great cameo, one of the better cameos in my opinion. Always brought great humour to the various cameos across the MCU films and also the Spider-Man films. Particularly like the Spider-Man cameo in the library with the headphones whilst the battle was going on behind him. But everyone will have their own. Drop us a comment, let us know your favourite Stan Lee cameo in the comment section. But a great addition to our Stan Lee line. The only Stan Lee we don't have at the moment is the Patina Stan Lee, but that's one that we're going to add, I'm sure, in the future. So that's our up-to-date sort of recent mail calls that have came through. Still a few bits to come over from the US, Funko Shop exclusives, the New York City Cop, Freddy Funko, and also 2 of the free pigeons. The only pigeon that we've not been able to get hold of is the Con exclusive pinstripe pigeon, which we'll again be looking for in earnest somewhere down the line. Okay, so that draws this video to a close, but I couldn't finish today's video without saying thank you to a couple of people. The one thing I really like currently about the collecting world, particularly the Funko collecting world, is the sense of community that you see without. So throughout, whether it's through YouTube or whether it's through Facebook groups, there's always been 1 or 2 people that have been extremely kind, and I just want to say a big thank you to Matthias, friend of Greg Cook, who you might find at the Toy Table on YouTube. So search him out, a brilliant YouTube creator. I really enjoy his content. I know I mentioned Dr. Applesauce on our last video, but Greg Cook really cultivates a really good sound community amongst what he does. Does a lot of live feeds, does a lot of toy hunts. So yeah, got a lot of time for Greg, and in particular Matthias, one of Greg's friends who collaborates with him from time to time. So thank you very much. Matthias was very kind to help us out over in the US with the red Chrome Batman, which is a Primark exclusive here in the UK, but a Target exclusive in the US, and one that I'm extremely pleased to have in the collection, because again, at the moment, these are the kind of pops that as soon as they come over here, they do get flipped out quite aggressively. And also the Futura Boba Fett. Now obviously this one in particular is currently being sold for 3+ times market value through various retailers here in the UK. So again, Matthias, a massive thank you for that. It probably won't be coming out of the cellophane or out of the hard stack, so we won't be getting it on the spinner, but a superb pop, and I know there's a few more being added to this Futura line over the coming weeks and months, so we shall see. But again, massive thank you to everyone within the community so far that have warmly welcomed our videos, but also welcomed us into the community. So thank you very much. Cheers guys.